Whoa there, I don't know what just happened, but oh, Christmas, solar intervention, things going on. I was talking about the creation of life. The creation of life is something that we don't know how it started, where it came from. But you can't have one type of creation without the other. Scientists have proven how old the Earth is and everything. It's very precise. They've proven how the universe and everything got started. That's fantastic. But God, what we call God, is supposed to be the one that's above it. Because we know in our mind that someone had to pull the trigger for the Big Bang. Someone had to be the one that planned it all out. It did not just happen. You can't have one without the other. You just cannot. You can't have matter and antimatter coming together without somebody creating matter with antimatter. I mean, it just doesn't happen. It's like an asteroid or a comet coming close to the Earth. The trajectory may be chaotic, but when it's on the right trajectory to the Earth, it's going to strike the Earth. No matter how you look at it, it's going to strike. It's a fact. You can't change it. Well, that asteroid had to be put on that path a long time ago. Even 10, 12 billion years ago, that asteroid would set in motion to work on that particular date. It would sit there and collide with Earth. Given that thought, us coming to Earth, we know that at one time we could not have lived here. Simple bacteria and stuff like that growing. But how did that bacteria get to here? Nobody's questioning that. We know that they probably come in on some type of meteor. It could have been anything, whatever. The bacteria floated down, stardust, saw space dust all over the place. It's full of many things. But how did it get there in space? What developed it? How did it live for so long? Why did it come in on something like that? Then once it got here, how did it know to form? There's so many more questions. It gets very chaotic. But in doing though, and understanding that that's the world that we live in, a bunch of chaos. But we're so used to people lying to us about things, so we accept it. And that's our problem. We're so used to people lying till we don't really know the truth. But we form our beliefs in the way that we want to believe. And we take and we try to find others that believe like us. Don't have to be just like us, but close enough. And we kind of gravitate towards them that are more like us. Antichrist, atheist, or whatever you are, um, you find others similar to you, you're going to gravitate towards it. In your belief of God, you're going to gravitate one to the other. Does not mean that you're right, but that doesn't mean that you're wrong either. So what does it mean? It means that your body and your mind have gotten used to a certain type of life. And that's a life of deception. When you really look at the truth of it, and that's what I am doing, I'm looking at the truth of it. There is a God beyond any reasonable doubt. When you weigh all the evidence, pros and cons, there is a God. many, many great thinkers have come to the same conclusion. Einstein was one. That's the reason why he started going to church the way that he did. Even though he could prove it mathematically, it is there. He knew that there is a God. Mathematically, he didn't have the math or skills or abilities to really prove it. No man has. We haven't gotten that smart yet. But then again, no man has disproved it. Stephen Hawking once said that there was no God, that he could not believe in a God. And I think it's more about the way that he felt than it was the fact that he didn't believe in God. More of a, well, if there was a God, he wouldn't let this happen to me type of thing. So there can't be no God. Even though he tried to put that aside, and use an analytical brain, and talking about the chaos and the Big Bang and all. But still, something had to design it. Something was behind designing matter. Something was behind designing antimatter. Something was behind creating it to be in the path of where it would come together, create a Big Bang. Thus creating the Earth, creating our moon. There's so many explanations that they give how this happened and everything, till they don't look at, you can't have one without the other. It's a simple process of up and down, gravity, in and out, left and right. You always got the opposite. And they're not looking for it. They're trying to explain one side, and they're doing good at explaining. But in doing so, every time they come up with an explanation for one thing, there is the opposite that you have to think about, no matter what. Take a simple formulation for time. No matter how you look at it, in the world of time is nothing more than point A to point B. The space in between is time. It's nothing more than a type of measurement. Many will say that no, time is lots more than that. But let's keep it to the simplest form. And the simplest form says that it's nothing more than our word that we express from point A to point B. No matter how big, no matter how small that space is, or how micro that space is. From point A to point B, that space in between is called time. Short, simple, sweet. No matter how you try to explain it differently, it still comes out point A to point B. No matter what. That's time. And when you think about that, that's a very relevant thing to where we're living. It's almost as relevant as a periodic table for chemists, or the rules for physics, the rules for mathematics. That is just as prevalent in our life, time is, as all these other things. But then again, when you think about it, you cannot have time. You cannot have point A to point B without there being a circle that is not point A to point B. That always was and always will be and always is. Time is irrelevant. Even in a circle, if you start at point A and you go all the way back down to B at point before it meets up to A is point B. Period. A and B never does really meet. Even though the circle keeps going around and around and around, at some point, the end and beginning all start again. In what we call infinity, or where there's a place where there is no time, there is no worry or measurement of it. There is no day, there is no night, there is nothing. There is no measurement of time. There is nothing. And that's the truth of the matter. When you wake up in the morning, think of this. You're teaching your children that it's okay to accept lies from the others. After all, the parents are supposed to be teaching them and guiding them. It's going to start telling lies right now. And in these lies, it's going to be the problem that lets them believe whatever and anything anybody says that fits the way they believe and they want to go throughout life with. That is the problem. Think about when you tell them about Santa Claus, one of the first lies you tell them, make them believe it, and later on they find out that you've been lying all the time. And then you step back and say, well, I wonder why my children don't trust me. How can I trust them? They've lied to me. Well, the children lied to you. Think about it. Talk to you again. Bye.